Thank you, and indeed you are absolutely spot on. It's the last chance for these teams to get that prize money, get into that final spot. And it's Erangel and that trophy awaiting.
Here's some stats for you then. Let's throw it out and kind of just set the story in motion of what might be happening for 2019. So far, January, February, March. March time, Liquid. Okay, slightly different roster when we look towards Gempty, but still. Since March, they've played in 14 LAN events. 11 of those, they've come top 3. 3 of those, they've won. I think we have to say that so far this year for 2019, the only way is kind of up. I mean, we've seen Global Summit, third place, PEL, Phase 1, second place, and now this. 2019, Lauren, really is looking like the year for Europe of Liquid.
And I'm glad you said Europe, because it isn't global yet, and that's the final hurdle for them. They've been able to conquer the European region on a regular basis, but once it branches out beyond that, we've yet to see them hold this dominant form. We saw that plague Ence once they got through to the FaZe Global Summit finals, and we're seeing it potentially with Liquid when they get the chance. We'll see if that does come through down the line. That's yet to be fully proven. But for now, North America still holds some great teams. The Asian region is still the lead runners.
They pipped them at PGI in both factors of 3 PP and 1 PP. We've seen Korea come out strong at the Global Summit, and China as well. America certainly put up a good stance, bagging the second region spot. Good jump from the boys over there in NA. But yeah, when we get to this bigger picture now, Liquid are looking like the true factors and the true form, but whether or not they can just get over the Asian hurdle will be a different one, because China and Korea, even Thailand to a lesser extent, it's just a different beast altogether. But less about the global astronomics of what will be going down. The future of PUBG Esports is looking fantastic on a very, very big scale. Let's look at this circle. She's more towards the west. A little bit of water in play, but not too much damage. The Jokers might be able to hold back onto NLT and pin them in Military Island potentially, unless they get the butts and go earlier field. 7, they might look onwards up towards North George. Maybe Zaki and play the late game, come across the bridges, but they have to be aware that NIP will be on home territory. Ence up in the mountains. It's a little bit different from what they normally do. I've always noticed on this one, friends, on Miramar, you get that quite split down the eastern side and a bit of a row, but they like to stay up in that upper quadrant and then come late game. This time hasn't paid off once again. I don't know what's happened. It's really hard to break down where things have been going wrong. I mean, a bigger benefit, they actually made it out of group stage this time round compared to Face It, so I suppose that's one up, but it just doesn't look like the same roster, the same animal that we saw in Phase 1.
Teams are getting better, tricks are being worked out, people are having to tighten up their game plans. You know, Phase 1, it's like when you look back on any game, in the infancy of its pro leagues and the regular games, you think, how did they get away with that? How are they allowed to do these things? And teams become aware so quickly, and you have to be able to stay on your toes and be adaptive down the line. And the teams I'm looking at this time is Unity. Bit of a switch up for them over in Primorsk. Going to be getting the loot there. Not too surprising, but again, look, considering where the circle is, this is phenomenal, and they are one of the teams that need that big performance to push up again. FaZe want to keep control of their spots too. They're having to get to their loot spot a little bit later than maybe they'd like. They've got the vehicles around Na'Vi, but they will be getting the loot in the bag now. And they've got a tough rotate as well. If you think about rotations here, it won't be particularly easy for them.
I mean, FaZe should be used to this one by now. That's kind of on the outskirts. They're the ones that's going to be difficult. Na'Vi, Tornado Energy, FaZe. To a bigger extent, maybe Zoekt Een Naam. Should 3D Max just think, well, there's what's left to play for, let's just crack on and see what we can do and how far we can get up in the rankings. Avangar is on the reposition again. It will be Se7en. Didn't really pay off on the last one. It's interesting to see them go in there. Maybe they just find it a bit easier because North George is well within reach. Digital Athletics, usual play from them. School, apartments. It's a hop, skip and a jump away from the circle, but that circle edge is very dangerous. Besiktas are there, just protecting the edge if anyone wants to try and get closer to their position. Liquid's already on the move, would you believe it? NIP have gone early. This is an interesting one. They've gone for Gatko. We don't usually see them kicking it down here. That's an arm's reach inside the circle.
Bit of an early split for them. So Gaxi and Vard could actually catch off Team Liquid in theory, or, you know, get caught by Team Liquid. Depends which way you want to look at it and who you have your faith in. Liquid, I don't know if they're going to pull up exactly where these guys are. It's not necessarily their you know, perfect spot for them, but they might go for it. Again, with that amount of water in there, you feel as though it's going to eventually go a little further north. But the rest of NIP are on the way. So it could be with a trade there. If they do clash, it may not happen, but they are very close by. And then is NIP in the compounds rather than being out on the hillside?
So time and time again, we see teams, they like to ditch it here in this certain location. And the reason for this is there's a multiple amounts of cover provided by rocks and trees, a full 360 vision provided by the elevation of the central hump in the middle of all that hill. And also that gives you a level of defense. You can essentially just hit the deck and hide, crawl back. For grenades, they can bounce a little bit too fast, so you can avoid them, but the same if you fight in the uphill battle, they will come rolling down the hill, so you have to be careful. This place is where we see many teams die straight off the bat early game. In Pro League, we see FaZe, we see G2. Even throughout the group stage, we see quite a lot of teams like to commit to this, and already, Gentis got a knock out in the middle of the field. Down goes Calder Mentor. Very much anyone will be able to pick him up there for the fact that with it being a wooden cabin, that can be shot down and give no defense. How? That's an instant explosion. So running the open field, and it wasn't just him shooting him, that's a multiple angle. Again, back of the head.
To pull him up.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Stolen though.
Awful timing. Yeah, Joker's got the points. I don't think it really matters. Oh, that one does. What? Moon between the eyes. That is from just north of Ferry Pier over towards Team Liquid. That's a huge shot.
That's a good 500 meter, maybe 4, to get him uphill in right between the eyes. It's job done. Smokes go up. Maybe don't waste too many bullets, hoping Liquid's not that stupid to take a weird and wonderful angle off the back of the tree. They're going to be tucked right in there. So the moment you're just giving away your position, ringing the alarm bell. I spoke about this compound here. You got to be careful. It's made of wood. It will explode. The vehicle hasn't gone up in smoke yet. Be careful, boys. If that thing goes, it'll take you with it. Off we go. No. Back at the bike. But how many teams are staring at them?
There's so many. There's so many people popping shots towards them. They have made it kind of out of there. I don't want to say too much yet because there's still so many other teams in between them and where they want to go. And they're just trying to bank in towards the cover and get away from all those eyes. I think they might have just about gotten away once they get down this dip. They should be absconded away from the view of Team Liquid. And we'll look at all the other teams now beginning that rotation route, which is so deadly.
FaZe have actually got quite lucky here. I hate to say the word luck because there's nothing about luck in this game. You have to play the RNG
look at that.
to
Look
its
at
own
Georgia Paul
advantage.
rotation route.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's kind of, and I'm about to say this about FaZe. The reason they got lucky is that Tornado Energy decided to go onto Sosnovka Island, which is questionable. They've set up, I can only guess, that maybe they're hoping NLT goes for a re-rotate and doesn't opt to take the western bridge. They might be camping them there to think they get some free points. I'd love to bring the map up so you guys at home can see this, because all we have is just a flock of players migrating in the north. We got 7 pitched up on the mountainside. 3D Max, take the western coastline. Avangar, Ence, who else is in there? Zoekt Een Naam.
Yep.
All these teams just waiting to butt heads on arrival. And this is what's waiting for him at the foot of the mountain. Se7en's here. They will play a very defensive and quite covered and sheltered area. But still, if you decide to take that west coast, you might be in trouble.
Squeaky heard the bike going around. He wasn't sure of the angle. Snoopy's having to go to evasive maneuvers. This is far from ideal, going into the blue at this point. And Occupative's there, but Trifley who's going to find Maxi. So catching those late rotations and keeping tabs on the teams that did try and go towards the north.
Avangar's actually been punished on home turf. They decided not to go to North George and went to Severny instead, and now North George becomes their demise. Now the Blues come in, you will see Zoekt Een Naam move ever so slightly, and 7 as well. They'll reposition, already try and get ahead of the game because they know everyone else is going to be moving. This allows a tiny amount of breathing room for all those in the north. They say, okay, well, we can move now because all the other teams are moving at the same time. As you can see on screen, though, like the players are just going to stay in the car and heal up. These guys are out in the blue. Be aware of this. Ence. Mikas is quite far away, actually. Just been aware that Avangar are still kicking it in the distance somewhere. They've pulled up at hospital, but again, that's still in the blue, see if they get any final meds. Airkey's just set off as well off the back of the hill. I'm just trying to give you a picture of where people are going to be on this one. 7, they're taking a long split down for the side of Gatka, but as we go further afield, further down from Gatka, we do have a pull-up. 3D Max, Besiktas. Actually, 3D Max hold the strongest compound. They don't realize this one's clear. It's the strongest compound, but it's not the strongest amount of area if they have to come out of this. It will be an uphill battle against Besiktas.
Certainly will be. In looking at Zoekt Een Naam's pull up here towards Digital Athletics, that's going to be a big battle potentially if they go for it. They are split by the road so far, so they could get out and still be safe. Besiktas have gone to the more northeastern side of the compound. It can be split, but Unity, they're currently sitting above FaZe. They're currently in a very good spot, so if they start losing out on players towards the Desperados, for example, that's far from ideal for them.
Se7en have made it to the top end of the chopsticks or the ditches, whichever you like to call it. Avangar, they're moving as a 3-man stack in the north.
The V.
The V. Fake goes for the smoke play, see if he can land a crucial shot. It would be amazing as well, but I think I'm seeing some numbers on that player. Yes, he gets the information as well. Liquid have opened up onto Batulin just in the smoke, and Liquid being Liquid, they'll just keep firing down bullets, see if they can pick anything off of this. I mean, look at the scoreboard, hell. They've already won anyway. For Se7en, they have to hold on. FaZe Clan, if they knock them out now in 16th place, bagged a win, plus the kills. If they got 10 kills, they would jump over them. Well, 11 just to be sure.
Yep. We are seeing Tornado Energy finally joining the rest of the flock. Took their time. This is that split fight with Zoekt Een Naam and Digital Athletics splitting the roadside, but Batulins is in real dire straits here. If it's not going to be the Desperados, it will be Team Liquid, and that's Unity losing out on players. It means things get trickier. Look at the real-time standings here. Unity down in 4th, FaZe just in front of them.
Desperados desperate for those kills. NIP behind by 1. Every single one counts when they're trying to hold on to the prize money. Remember, you do need to be in the top 8. There's no relegation, there's no promotion after this, there's nothing. This is simply for money, pride, and a glimpse into what's coming for phase number 3. It does get stolen away, and we mentioned how Liquid now, they can just commit. They always commit regardless, but because there's nothing to lose, they will commit for these kills and try and mop up as much as they humanly can. In the distance, you can see the tracers laying down. FaZe Clan, Tornado Energy. Tornado have still, they're playing a very, very slow game. They did go for their bridge camp. It didn't pay off. And what will be rather condensed is this slight southern edge to the circle in a straight line. You'll have NLT, Na'Vi, or what's left of Na'Vi. There's 3 of them. And then the Joker's basically holding the strongest compound in that area, because everything else from Longwoods to the fields is just open territory. Circle. Let's see what she does.
Ooh, okay, Desperado, Se7en, Besiktas, and 3D Max hold good ground. Team Liquid instantly moving. NIP not too bad, but you look at that southeastern side, that is very, very busy.
So for Se7en, they can play a really weird and wonderful game here. It's strange terrain, it's very hilly, and there's quite a few plateaus. Expect to see a few teams dying here on rotation. FaZe could be one of them, but they are split up in 2-2 with 4 vehicles. A drop comes in, that might hold the Jokers back for now. The push is real though. The bike cracks him in the face. Oh my, you lucky, lucky boy, but there is a response to this fight.
That nade's pretty good though from Tom. It's going to keep them humbled. Squeaky still alive behind the tiniest bit of that fence, and Tom is counting his lucky stars, but Squeaky's gonna have to find something to do soon here, because Tom's on the aggression. He's pushing up on this third-party potential. He's gonna be trying to dodge and weave around this one as the Northern Lights are about to fight against Tornado Energy.
I mentioned it could be difficult, but Besiktas in the
Liquid.
position they are.
Oh, the hip
Tom,
fire!
careful.
He's done it, he's done enough, that's fine. He just needs to get a heal off potentially, because Team Liquid are folding into this. They're sweeping further through this from the eastern side. These nades are from Liquid. Ence are on the other side, holding the outskirts, and now they're the ones in trouble, potentially from 3D Max. It will be actually a big bloodbath here. Any of those 4 teams could potentially find these kills.
Tom will batten down the hatches and hold for now, but with the door closed behind him, any grenade could just bank off and seal the deal. Ence have somehow kept 2 alive, I don't know. 3D Max, it depends if Liquid understand here that there's 3 teams and not just 2, with how many. If they get the read on the gunfire, then it will give the information and feed it back to them, but they just need to be careful that they don't engage on one roster and another one turn up to the party, or at least poke the windows. James has been kept an eye on at range, and then from another angle, Calvin, oh no. Close but no cigar. I'd have just given it up for the
memes.
For the memes, why not?
Yeah. Avangar, though, let's talk about them. Currently in 6th place. If they go out now, this opens it up to the board potentially. Snoopy gonna have to dip into the blue this time. Anime Lord Bro, can you deliver the killing blow here? Yes, you can. And he dodges the bike to boot. Avangar go down. This opens up that top 8 table to a degree. Teams now can sneak their way up here. Revive towards James. The Desperados really did catch a shot on that.
I'm getting flashbacks to IEM a long time ago, where Avangar last game went down in 16th. They've done it again. All right, it was a slightly different story. They were going for the #1 spot, but now they're playing for money. They're only on 59 points, Lauren. Everyone else behind them could quite easily jump. You've got 9th and 10th place on 51. Avangar may have just lost cash.
Potentially. We'll keep our eyes drilled towards that. If Avangar drop out of this, this is going to be quite devastating for them. That compound is still a bit of a stalemate. And the circle goes south. The open field's going to be moved away from the north. NIP are one of the teams looking to hop up the table. And now the problem that stands in the way is a lot of teams. You have that entire compound in the way. You have Team Liquid, FaZe, and then Zoekt Een Naam in the west. Now, Se7en still hold very good position in this one. Northern Lights trying to fight the good fight for themselves. Pride on the line to try and end up above Tornado. Currently tied both on 30 points.
Liquid on the move. They decided to head back for a second, but Desperados will see them. They're
look at this rotation from NIP. They're coming through as well. All these teams are going west. This
is the thing, is that people think it's a good idea, and sometimes forget that other people will also think it's a good idea. And this is why we see follow rotations.
Jemsy's just gone down. I think Samty just hit him by accident after the knock came through, so that's a loss for Liquid, but it's no big deal in the bigger scheme of things. They're fine. They pull back up central, as you like. Se7en going to be in a bit of a scuffle with them, quite close by. Zoekt Een Naam engaging from afar. That's from Quarry, as NIP have kind of shuffled in. Oh no, Fuzzface just got knocked as well. What is going on with these vehicles on rotation? FaZe and rotations having issues. It's a bloodbath for Se7en. Buster and Crab just being caught as well. They're in 2nd place. They were looking to hold on to that, and they might be challenged. I think they're safe for now. This is down towards the southern side. They're going to push forward. Na'Vi have to get past Northern Lights, but that northern fight is again bubbling up.
Na'Vi just need to be careful that Tornado Energy don't rock up at the last minute and cause them all kinds of problems. Meanwhile, the Tab will find Uber out in the field, knocks him. James continues the assault and finished off one of the members from Se7en. Perfect kills, trying to get up close and personal. The smoke wall's there that allows them to cross the road, but they'll hold the angle on them. That grenade could be good.
Oh, it's very good. A doozy and Pokemon are down. And we're seeing Digital Athletics just send it. Bambaki is a man on a mission, trying to find some safety. Besiktas have found some of Ence. We're looking at FaZe here as well. The big story for them was they wanted to jump up points and deny Unity from getting closer. And for now, the one name you don't see that kill feed is Unity. Besiktas have gone down in 15th. They've now maybe again kept things interesting. Keep your eyes on Digital Athletics. Keep your eyes on NIP. Keep your eyes on the Desperados. If they keep pushing, maybe you'll see something. But with so many teams losing out on players, those chances are looking less and less. Edelweiss is being a nuisance towards NIP in the north. He's isolated. He's singled them out. He's the only man there.
Perfect kills. Moves from across the road now to get themselves. It comes down to Bestalotch to actually hold the line. He does it. Na'Vi, no cash for you boys. See you later. They're done. They're running the competition, will be 11th or below. Meanwhile, I have no idea how they managed to get there, but Tornado sent it with the vehicles, and they are center of the map, but they are not alone. Liquid's there as well. We need to keep an eye. We didn't quite see it then on how many teams are still in the north. NIP did make an entry point just on the back of the hillside, but them and Ence are held back by 3D Max, who basically are just dominating the compound.
You're absolutely right, and Unity is still alive. They're looking to jump above FaZe, so I think are just down to one man unless they get a potential revive onto Uber. So that could be a big loss, which has definitely not happened. Melman's found him, so we've got FaZe on one man alive at this point. That's a bit scary in the grand scheme of things. This could open up for Unity to push further ahead. We'll keep an eye on those points jumping up if they do. For now, we still have Digital Athletics and NIP continuing to try and stride further up that table, but they've worked their way up here.
Circle about to condense. Who is going to pay for it? Ence. That'll be a difficult run. If they go one edge of the circle, they'll see by Desperados. If they go the other down the west side, NIP may have them dead to rights. 3D Max can still just sit there and pray that they get a hard shift in the next one. The Jokers, they've sent it across the map. They managed to basically hide themselves at the foot of that like cliff-face mountainside. As soon as I say that, Tornado Energy get the call. They hear the shots and get an eye line on them. So tickle them for a little bit and give them a word of warning. NLT yet to make an approach on this one. If they hit the compound on the backside of the Joker's attention will be drawn. Vehicles are there as well, so they'll get that initial audible cue to turn and face, which they have done. I can see it on the map. They're looking towards NLT. So for now, Tornado Energy, bit of respite for them up on the hillside. I'll tell you what, no rest for the wicked. Ence, they are not having a great day.
No, they are not. They've not had a great tournament, to be completely honest. Down in 14th for a, Pro League team is not ideal. But all of that aside, they still have to get past 3D Max. And they currently have a better step in this situation than Ence do. Nade through the window could force them out. It doesn't. They still hold. 3D Max can play this relatively late. They still have the better side of things. NIP have found Zoekt Een Naam from afar, but you can see every team looking slightly further south here. And look at this clash between Northern Lights and the Jokers.
I think Traffelli's just trying to bait them out at this point. The Molotov goes in, and remember, if this is any wood on the floor, the Molotov will spread on the floor. That nade, though, does somehow take his teammate out. That's rough.
Melman just trying to post it through the little letterbox there towards Orange Snow. He can't quite manage it, but still, we are seeing that fold on the southern side.
He went down the gap, Laura, and he actually clipped him. If that hits the roof, that could do him.
Could do, but it hasn't just yet. We'll keep our eyes on the kill feed because Team Liquid are falling. Miraku is finding shots on them. They're in between a rock and a hard play. The southern compound is being crashed. And so far, they're trying to hold on to it. Mikas about to breach a building. Idrik on the other side. Hip fire comes through for Mikas. And maybe there's still life yet in Ence.
Still got a fair amount of work to do. They're not inside the circle. And they're going to be lacking meds, utility, and everything else that comes along with staying outside of the blue. The fight we talked about earlier on NLT did approach the backside of the Jokers, but now they're making them pay for it with punishment. Quizzy, last man standing. M4 comes out. Hammer down. Job done. Northern Lights, bye-bye.
Down in 12th, 11 teams nil still stand, and the big stories are the ones in the north at the moment. Bambaki's gone digital, his legs have fallen. That 5th to 7th spot is suddenly looking a little bit barren here. Jokers, NIP still wanting these points. Circle moves south. Unity and FaZe are still alive. And I say FaZe, it's 8C. The Super Snake still in this one. If he can try and hold on and keep that spot there, it's going to be very impressive. But Unity now need to move out as well. And they have Melman on the other side and the rest of Tornado Energy and the remaining player from Zoekt Een Naam.
Remember, we do have placement points in play here, but you get points for kills. Look at Desperado. They've shifted out of the top 8. They're now down in 10th. There's potential here for all these other teams to be able to jump up, but as you kind of called it, Digital Athletics and Avangar, their future could be decided by other teams who want to make it up that leaderboard. Se7en's gone up top, so some hefty teams in their way, and all these middle packs still alive. Jokers all the way down to Ence could do some damage. Ence could essentially just elevate themselves into top 8. It would be a miracle and a lot of work, but it's certainly within reach. The team is...
Well, let's find out, because they're about to go past another 3D Max player. We are seeing a bit of a helping hand in the southern side towards Unity being able to get out of the building, and they've made it past Noki. That's 3D Max gone. That is Ence trying to fight their way in. NIP have heard and seen all of this. Melman being tagged now encourages Unity to make a play, and I think he's seen that. Yes, he has. And Vascu on one side, and you have Unity on the other. Basically, Melman can pick, who do I want to die to? Oh no, Mikas trying to make a wild play then, just going in on the bike. Recrent's nade found Melman, and this is now looking pretty poor for Tornado Energy.
This is something we see out of NIP quite a lot, and it's a really good player. They will happily leave one player back just to be the snake scout, the snake tamer, whatever you want to call it. They'll always have the one player just to watch their backs and make sure it's safe and nobody comes from behind and just breaks them apart.
I don't think he can out-heal this blue.
I think he's gone.
That's Ence done.
That's rough.
That is a little rough.
Not so easy this time round, boys.
No, certainly not. Desperados in the east, NIP in the west, Team Liquid still central with the remainder of FaZe. The southern side is deadly. Look at all those names there.
At the moment, NIP have so much breathing room. 4 men alive. They're the only 4. Yes, it is. They're the only team with 4 alive. The other people with 3 would be Desperados, who desperately need points, by the way. And Unity. Recrent Sadovnik and Orange Snow still standing. Finally, I'm thinking, I've just seen one player go down, so that would be Melman gone.
Yep, that's Unity starting to leave the compound.
Do you think that's a bit questionable when they actually had the hillside? They decided to try and push them on that compound?
I think they just wanted to put one player there to try and hinder them leaving.
It's...
I don't mind it, look.
Yeah,
at this point, I really don't mind it.
It's the fact that they didn't keep the Jokers in check, though.
Yeah,
they knew there was a team there. They
issue.
literally watched them, and they've just exposed themselves and opened this up. They give Unity another point, and now they've got one man standing. Oh, well, it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. Circle, a little bit more weighted down to the south, and it seems to be wherever Ibiza is, the circle just follows him. He's got a beacon on his head. I know he's tall, but good lord.
Some sort of gravitational pull, maybe, or some sort of field like that, just due to height. I don't know. Didn't do very well in physics. Looking at this, though, the Desperados in the northeast are trying to pull themselves slightly further south to get into the circle. NIP are doing the same from the west. This does mean that Unity do need to leave that compound. This opens up a couple of problems for them in case anyone is watching from that hillside. No one apart from Vazku really is. Once they get up that hill, then problems begin. But at this point, Vazku's the one man who could really cause problems unless NIP keep going further south, which I doubt they would.
Zoekt Een Naam at 12th. One kill would, I think, put them 11th at least, so it'll bide his time for now, but oh dear, he has, oh no, he's been seen. Oh, there is a little bit of a response though, but remember...
That's NIP though.
There's 4 players up there, unless he can knock one out. There is a spin.
Headshot.
What was that?
And the nade! Oh, Vazku, you beast! 2 on the way. This gives hope for Unity now, and NIP is suffering off the back of this.
Liquid has smelt this. Jeems has actually pushed towards them. NIP are now forced to heal both members. If Jeems comes over here, the nade got himself. If he throws one their way, oh my, this could be dangerous. Unity have posted up on the foot of the hill as well. NIP. Oh my god, Jeems! He does it! I said one nade could do so much damage. Nip, everything's falling apart.
This was meant to be their game. They're down in 9th right now, tied up with the Jokers who are still alive. They hold players, and Team Liquid are ruining their hopes and giving points potentially to the Jokers here. Jeems finds MBS, Miraku goes down, that's points in their pocket. They don't need it anymore, but NIP's hopes and dreams are being dashed as we speak. They're falling out of the money.
And all this comes down to one solo snake. He got a knock, then an answer back with a Randy death nade. But more importantly, the information, the game was given up. Everything been able to just sneak down on the west. Everyone just focus fired them. NIP are 9th. If Gaxi goes down here, they're out of the money.
Gaxi is going to be playing the most cautious game of his entire life, or at least he should be. Currently, them and the Jokers are looking very close by. Gaxi is smothered. He does not want to leave that little smoke of safety. And you see the Jokers being held back a little bit by the Desperados and vice versa, but the Desperados are in the circle. Unity looking to sweep south. They're still in this one as well. They're looking to jump up as high as they can, potentially challenge out against FaZe if they could. Calvin Klein caught one of them. But oh, Unity not without their own issues here. Sadovnik trying to move their way up, finds the man from Tornado Energy.
The Randy solos are doing work here. Gaxi, hide your head, my friend. Unity falling to 2 solo individual players. One plays all the way up the back!
Gaxi! Absolutely sick shot from Gaxi, executing Unity and potentially saving FaZe from someone creeping up that scoreboard behind them. NIP are fighting with everything they have to stay within this position, and Gaxi is doing that. The Jokers are not far behind either, though.
Release the Gaxi. What a shot to land when it mattered most. That's now jumped them to 6th position. Yes, he has been held back here. And you know what? It'd actually be quite a clever maneuver to not give Jokers this point and to actually die to the blue.
I don't think he knows, though. I don't think he has the information. So he's just going to try and get in. He has gone down. It will mean the Jokers have just jumped Nip, but they should be safe. They have got themselves in the prize money. I think Gaxi just literally saved them then. X-Team. The angle is filthy. He's got this. He's genuinely got this one. No helmet, he knows it. X-Team with 5 kills.
I literally think X-Team, there is potential here that he's just saved NIP. There is potential. Oh, yes, because it will be Avangar that's pushed out if Desperados do well. Literally, that single kill has just given Nip money.
That's incredible. Desperado's now trying to take on X-Team. Don't go one by one. We've already seen the Jokers suffer this. They've got some very scary weapons. So the M249 pushing him one way and the arm fishing him off. We're down to 3, Rich. We've got Team Liquid FaZe and the Desperados. Team Liquid hold that central circle. 8C cowers in the north and wants absolutely nothing to do with this.
And this is the most beautiful thing about PUBG. That single kill boots Avangar straight out of the top 8. NIP is laughing. I don't think X Team has realized just how much damage he's done there. He essentially assaulted Unity. NIP fell at the whip. And then all of a sudden, after that, he moves on to another team as well. I can't remember which one it was, but these solo unchecked individuals.
Hold on, they spotted Ence. He tried to stay alive as late as he could, and he's done incredibly well to do so. FaZe were being chipped away at the entire time during this game. But Ence stood his ground, stayed alive, and I think it's time to say goodbye for him. Eventually he'll be found. He does have a little bit of a ledge here, and Team Liquid have gone into the fight now. They shoot in their hand, and maybe they didn't want to. The Desperados start to test everyone alive here. Ence's got an angle. He's fighting James. How is this man still alive? I do not know, Rich. I think his days are numbered. Look at Calvin Klein. That M249 looks a little deadly. Surely on the hip fire. Is he going to go for this? Ence's Knight has just found James. We're down to 2 teams now. We do have Ibby alive against 3. A 1v3, Ibby. You up to the fight, or is this the Desperados win now? What can you do here? You've got Orms up, you've got M249s up, and you've got an Ibby's, they're up against you. He knows the angle fakes on. I'm pretty sure he just heard those shots. He's found one of them, but can he find 2 more? Here comes the... Oh, he's only gonna done it. That's 2. One more man stands, fakes got the angle, but Ibby dips back in. He's tagged up, he knows it. He goes for the heal, and Fake waits. There's still time. Blue is closing in. Fake knows exactly where he is. Ibby on the other side, trying to toy with him, trying to pull him out, trying to get him into the angle. The Blue pushes him forward. He's gone for a reload. What is that? What a mistake at the end. Fake will capitalize. And the Desperados steal the final win from Liquid. But the entire cup was all